Okay, this is the 2006 Nissan Titan, and we're gonna change the front differential U-joints, and we're gonna change that seal because you can see it's kind of leaking down up under there a little bit. Like it's leaking right up under here. So that's where it's leaking right there. Let me kind of zoom in so you can see it some. So you can see that seal is leaking pretty good. It's dripping and everything. So we'll be replacing that today. And to get started, you're gonna need a pencil. $2 over in the craft section in Walmart. Go get your water soluble marking pencil because you've got to mark right along the sides of where this seal is sitting and everything. The drive shaft. You're gonna do it front and back just because you want to make sure you get this thing set right. If you do the front, it should be fine. I'm gonna do the front and the back. Like I said, get your water soluble pencil and just get the marking. Okay, as you can see, I got all my markings. I actually marked the drive shaft. I marked the U-joint assembly. I marked the actual piece that slides into. It's a huge like collar that it slides into. Got that there. That's where the seal kind of goes through, like at the base of the shaft. But I also did it on the back end, back here too, just to make sure that I get this thing lined up right. I'll probably do some additional marks because, like I said, you can even see I'm marking on that side too. So I'm doing a lot of markings because I want to line this thing up perfectly. My dog's going crazy. Somebody's out here. But this thing is balanced. This drive shaft is balanced, so you want to make sure you get all your markings right because you want to put it in exactly the same way you got it out. Now, the reason why I'm replacing these U-joints is because he said he was getting a lot of movement. He was getting a lot of rocking and ticking. Look, watch this. Look. See that? Not supposed to move that easy. So he's getting a whole bunch of knocking around. Look at that. This whole assembly is moving. So this U-joint is busted in the back. The front seems to be okay. I'll show you the front right here as I do it on the front. It doesn't move at all on the front. Everything's locked perfectly. It's locked in. But like I said, you come back here to the back. I mean, you got nothing but movement. Look at that. So definitely need to get this out. Replace this. And I mean, that's the whole thing. Look at that. It moves any way I want. This thing will just kind of rattle around. So that whole U-joint assembly, the rear has to come out. So since I got both of them, I'm going to do the front and the rear of the front drive shaft. That goes into the transfer case right here. And that'll be the end of that. Okay, so the first thing I did was I got these little retaining clips out. And I'm loosening up, like these on the back are 14 millimeter. So I'm going to loosen up each one of these on the back that I can reach. Then I'm going to turn the drive shaft. I'm going to put it in neutral, turn the drive shaft so I can get the other bolt on the other side. But these are 14 millimeters on the back. You're going to get those on the back end. I already loosened these up. These are 14 millimeters on the back. I loosened each one of these up already. I didn't take them out. But now, even though this is a lifted truck, it's lifted about 3 inches, I put jack stands up under it and I lifted it up at the cross member because I want to turn my tires. Because if I can turn my tires, I can actually move my front drive shaft. Hold up, let me get up under here for a second. So if I can turn my front tires, I can move my drive shaft to what position I want it to be in. So now I'm going to actually work with those at the bottom there, those in the back there. Like I said, I got my wood block and my jack at the cross member, my 2 jack stands. Nice little setup. Like I say, even if the jack was to kind of give out, the truck is lifted so much, I'm up under here without even using a jack. But I just got the jack stands for the internet. You see, I got one of the caps off of the U-joint already. Here's my little cap right here. So I got the retaining clips off. And what do you do to get a side off is, like I said, you just find out which side you want off and just kind of tap on the actual drive shaft. And it would push out the other side on that side. You just kind of tap on it, whatever. It's going to push it out the other way. Okay, so what I did is I just banged out these 2 sides. Tapped on one side, tapped on the other side. 2 sides slid out. And now the whole U-joint is out. Well, the whole drive shaft is out, but the U-joint is still in. I got to finish with that and then that. Like I said, I got the back end loose back here. So I'm going to drop this whole thing out real quick. Let's get this out. There we go. Okay, to actually get these parts off here, I'm gonna run my air wrench. And so I got the my big press right here, it's actually got the open end of the U-joint right there, closed right here. I'm gonna drill it down deeper in there, just like so. That should be pushing out the other side. Yeah, oops, yep, it's slowly coming out the other side. Oh, I don't have a lot of pressure running right now. I think I got like maybe 60, 80 pounds running. Who knows? 'Cause I usually do tires. All right, so there it is. That's out. Because I can feel it go super fast. There we go. All right. So what I want to do is, like I said, this piece here is the piece that I'm trying to get out. And this little right there is kind of shaky and rocky. So what I want to do is, because this is acting like it doesn't want to come out the bottom for whatever reason, I'm going to vice grip and just kind of rock it from side to side. I'm going to vice grip it like this and just rock it from side to side to see if I can't get it out. It should pop straight out. It's just like hung up on something right there. See, that's all it was. It was something was hanging it up to where it wouldn't come out, but that's it. Let's get all of these pieces out. And there's my hub. There's the old U-joint. Everything's all out. You need to get you a press like this, because what's going to happen is going to sit like this and this. This is going to slide in here. This is going to slide there. So the other side of the U-joint can pop right out of there as this piece goes in there like that. But I've had this press for years. So as you can see, this was the bad one that was in the back. It's all rusted because it had no bearings in it. That was the one in the front. Still got a lot of lubrication on it. It had the bearings on it. It was pretty good. But I'm going to swap both of them out anyways. Okay, now it's time to put the stuff back together again. So I got my little bracket there. This is my new U-joint, and I already put the grease fitting on, and I greased it up and everything. As you can see, I got tons of grease in there. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop off 2 of these on the ends, slide. Well, let me show you how I'm going to do it. So I'm going to pop off 2 of these so it's open, sit it there, then slide the caps back in on top of them and press them down, sort of like this. I'm going to take that cap off. It's got tons of grease on it. Take this cap off, tons of grease on it. These are all the grease fittings I did. And I'm going to sit this in here like this. I'm going to sit that T inside of there like that. So now that T is inside of there, I want to slide this piece back on here. And I'm going to slide this piece, whoops, back on here like so. All right. Because what I want to do is press this back in place, because you can't hammer it because it's got all of the what's the names in there. It's got all of the bearings are inside of there. So once you sit this inside of there like this and this, what I want to do now is I'm gonna slightly tap. Where's my little hammer at? I'm gonna tap this down just to get that piece secured in there. All right, so like I said, so I got this piece right here on the bottom there. If you want to protect it from getting all banged up, just sit the cardboard box down on the ground. Hold up. Let me open up this cardboard box. There. Now I can sit this on the back of that cardboard box. Because what I'm going to do is, as this is sitting right inside of there like so. Come on, thing. Because it's in there nice and firm. I hate when it does that. Like, you want to make sure it goes in there straight, not sideways. So let me straighten it out some. All right. So now it's nice and straight like that. Put this, situate this back on there. Like I said, because I don't want those bearings in there to move around at all. So I'm sitting this on there to keep the bearings from moving. Oh, this thing, like I said, it's a balancing act. One thing. There. All right. So I got those back on there just like that. And I'm going to barely tap just to secure it in there for right now. Come on, thing. There, so now it's secured in there. I barely tapped it, so it's sitting in there nice. Now I'm gonna put the top piece on, because what I want to do is once I start with my press, I want to make sure that this stuff all just slides in perfectly, like even. And I'm gonna need this for the back end of my press, like this. This is gonna be on the back end of my press. The front end of my press will be that there. Oh, I'm telling you, I wish I had a better recording setup for you, but it is what it is. All right, so this is how we're gonna do this. This, and that. Wait a minute. I'm gonna switch it around like this, just so I can get it a little bit easier. And I'm gonna just barely tap on the back of this. I don't want to tap it too hard. Just. And now that's pretty much situated on there. Because you tap it too hard, don't forget there's bearings inside of there. So yep, so it slides up in there perfectly. My bearings didn't move around. All right, get everything set up nicely. Oh, that's where it is the most complicated. So I wish I had a table, but because I don't have a table, I just do it on the ground like this. And it usually works out just fine. Not a problem at all. But it's just, it's a pain in the butt. And if you want to lubricate the edges of that, you can if you want to. I rarely do. You know what? I'm gonna do like this. Keep that in there like that. And just barely tap down a little bit just to get it secured. Don't want to hit it too. I don't want to hit actually on top of the piece there. There. And that, all that does is just holds it in place. Just a couple of taps will hold it in place. I'm gonna back this up a little bit. All right. This hurts your back after a while. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is put this right on top of there. Oh yeah. So that's solid right on top, just like that. Now I'm not going to use my air gun for it. I'm going to use the regular wrench because I want to make sure I go nice and slow with it. Where's my wrench at? Or my socket rather. All right. I got tools all over the place. Get all this stuff out the way. Crap out the way. Yeah, I'm not going to use my air wrench just because I don't want to overdo it and end up breaking a bearing inside of there or something. But you can tell as you're drilling it in there, any resistance you'll have, you'll know right off the bat. So, let me sit this straight up. All right. So that's in there perfectly. This should be right here perfectly. All right, let's go. And the trick is to go nice and even, just so you know that it presses in there right on top. Make my presses kind of sideways. I got that going in okay. I don't have it like actually centered on there as much as I can. There we go. I actually got a vise in there too. I should be using my vise for this, but nope, I'm not. Always doing things the hard way. Like I said, that has to go straight up in there like that. This will go down in there like this. I don't know why this is not trying to line up how I want it to. Hold up for a second. There we go. See, I need to have this in my press. I got my vise in there. I'm just not using it right now for whatever reason. Just trying to make my life hard. I'm gonna get this out the way here. Yep. See, that's why I say you got to be careful, because one of my bearings looked like it was coming off the wall right there. Got another one here. All right, now they're in. Now they're locked in pretty good. Oh, this is about to get messy, y'all. It's about to get messy. But this is basically what it is doing the U-joints. If you got a press, it's a lot easier to do it on the table. The fact that I'm doing it on the ground just because I'm trying to record, but if I got two big tables in there I could be doing it on. I just don't feel like pushing everything back in there. But that's the thing, you got to get these in there to go straight in there. This one looks like it's going straight in just perfect. And then you got this one at the bottom here. So let me get this stuff together and I'll show you what I got at the end. Okay, I got the drive shaft yoke off, that piece right there, with 9/16 on the back end. So I didn't use a 14 millimeter, I used 9/16. Came off just fine, real quick and easy. And then I got to the actual part where, you know, it sits right on top of your seal. That's like the collar for it. Now I got the collar off using my actual, this is a crankshaft puller. So I use my crankshaft puller and I put it, it's a tri-prong, and I put it around the edges here, and it's got like the one shaft that goes in the middle that touches in that little divot in there, and you just crank it real slow and it pulls it right off. Like I said, it just pops right out. Super easy to get that off. Like I said, you want to get you a crankshaft puller. It could be this type or any other type, but you don't got to bang on it, hit on it, anything. It just slides right out. And now here's my differential seal right here. This is the seal. I already cleaned everything off around it just to show how much oil it is. It was like this at first. So I cleaned everything off, and I'm going to pop that seal out, put the new one in. I got the new one right here. So I'll be putting the new one in, and it shouldn't take that long. And it was pretty easy to get that off. And it was pretty easy to get that seal off. So what I did is I put a screwdriver right in between here. I just kept slowly prying. I kept prying on the seal. And then I went down this way and I pried on the bottom of the seal this way a little bit. Pried on it. Went back this way again on this side and just pried it. And it popped straight off. And that was it. I mean, it's super easy. You don't have to bang on it, scrape it, scratch it, nothing. Just keep prying on that seal around the edge. I just did on this side, then I did on the bottom, and it worked itself out. Okay, the new seal is in. Like I said, I got it to sit on one side, and I just barely tapped it around, just kept working around, tapping, just kept tapping it around, and it seated in there perfectly all the way around. It's nice and flush. I could feel it with my finger. So now it's time, and make sure that the inside is clean. Clean all of that out, because it's got a lot of gunk in there. Clean it all out before you put that seal back on. Now that the seal is back on, I can start assembling everything and possibly have the drive shaft back on tonight. That's the goal. And I got everything lined up perfectly. I got my yellow dot lined up with my yellow dot up here. I got my two nicks that I made on the side going this way, and that's what my drive shaft will be lined up on. But I made sure inside of here that yellow dot is matched to that yellow dot up there. So I know this now is seated properly. I tapped it back on there, got it to sit nicely. Now it's time to put everything back together. And so while I got the drive shaft out, I'm going to go ahead and assemble the drive shaft first before I put it back up in there. But what I want to do is I want to actually grease my U-joint. I already did this one yesterday. I greased that one yesterday when I was putting that one together. Now I want to grease this one now before I put it back, because that way I could just lift it back up in there, slam it in, done with it. Then I could just drain my differential, fill it with new fluid and everything, and put it back on the road. But it's all put back together. This drive shaft's ready to go in, ready to button it all up, and trust me, you're going to need a C-clamp to get those U-joints back in there. You don't need one this big, but at least get something that could C-clamp these and press them together, because you're not going to hammer them together. You want to C-clamp them things in there. Okay, so as I got the front of the drive shaft resting on this little crossbar right there, It allows me to work on the back because I can still turn. This is free play in the back, so it's still free. So I can turn it, get all my bolts in, and once they're in, they're not tight right now, but I just got the fronts and the backs on. Now I'm gonna go through and tighten everything down. But once I secure the front, that's when I'm really gonna tighten everything down. I just got to just tighten by hand right now, and I'll probably turn by bolt a little bit. Yeah, so what I did is I just kind of snugged them up a little bit with the wrench. And like I said, they're not super tight. I'm gonna super tight once I lock everything down. But now I'm gonna line up my front where you see my marks are right here. I'm gonna line everything up perfectly so this thing is still balanced and all of that. But before you wanna do all of that, make sure you put your nut back on. I just looked up and I was like, oh, I didn't put that on last night. It's sitting right here. That's why I keep everything up under the parts where they're supposed to go, because it'll remind you as you're going along to put things back together. Because as I'm looking at how I got this sitting in here, I'm like, okay, this is sitting in here. I'm ready to put it back up. I looked up. I was like, wait a minute. I don't have my nut on here. Here we go right here. It's locked in pretty good. This is where we at. All right. Go. Nice and locked on. It's always good to have a nice massive air gun in here. And this is my big 1 ton one here. So this thing is huge right here. Let's get out of here. Alright, there we go. It's all in. Snug, secured. Like I said, you'll be using your 9/16 to tighten it all down. Got it in the back here too. Wait a minute, where are we at? You see that? So there we go, spinning real good, nice and quiet, no crunching, so you know all of the bearings are good. Because if you had any issues with the bearing, you'll hear something going, it'll be a small hang up. I've heard that before because I've heard crunched up bearings inside of them, and you can hear that as you do it. It'll be like, what's that scrape sound? That's a bearing in there that's not set right, and it's like scraping against them, like a few might have fallen out, but you hear it nice and smooth. So it's time to let this thing down, let my client know it's ready to go. And you see no drips, no leaks whatsoever. The seal is good. There you go. I cleaned it off last night. I put all that back together last night. It was leaking every night. So now you see it's nice and clear, no drips at all. Perfect, time to rock and roll. And now that I got everything apart, I want to change the diff fluid. So you can drain it at the bottom, and it's only like a 3/8 drive. So a 3/8 drive will just go in here, you'll drain it. But before you even loosen up your drain, always do your fill first. Your fill is up at the top right here. So you want to put that 3/8" drive up here, because you want to make sure you can at least fill it back up before you drain it all. So that's where my 3/8 drive will go here. I'll get that off, make sure the fill comes out. And when you fill it, you're going to fill it until a little bit seeps out. You don't want to like overfill it and have it like dumping out. When it just starts barely dripping out, like a little bit dripping out, that's when you know you filled it enough. But undo the drain first. Undo the fill first, then do the drain next. Then we can start. So my fill bolt came out pretty fast. So then I undid the drain one. So now I'm just letting it drain or whatever. So that should be good right there. The second one here, I don't know what that's for, but it's something that's broke off in there. Because I can feel something like prickly at the bottom. So I'm not going to mess with that. Whatever that is, something's broke off in there already. Like, looks like a drill bit or something like that. I don't know. I'm not touching that, though. So, yeah. So this should, and it's not a whole lot that's going to come out. But I already got my 80W90 gear oil sitting right there. So with the 8090W, I'm going to refill it until it comes out of this fill hole a little bit. And that should do it. Fire it up, get it out of my driveway. Yeah, so that's my pump set up, just like a little basic Walmart pump right there. You're gonna run it up there, get it into the drain hole, get ready to fill this thing up. And like I said, when it starts slowly leaking out of the drain hole, that's when you wanna say, okay, I'm done. Okay, according to my measurements, it took a little more than 2 quarts, because here's 1 quart tick mark here, and here's the 2 quart tick mark there, and it's right up under it. So it took a little more than 2 quarts. Here's all the old stuff. But I'm ready to bolt it all back up. Well, I just bolted it all back up, so I'm ready to fire this thing up and get it out the driveway. If you got any questions, don't hesitate to ask in the comments before you tear your car up. There's a lot of us in here who are mechanics. We can help you walk through it. It's not that hard of a job. Just need the right tools. Be a little patient. Even if you don't have air equipment, as long as you can torque hard enough, get you a torque bar or something like that, you'll be totally fine. You don't need air equipment. I use it just to keep my day going faster. But if you want to start working on your own car, you might want to get you at least a little pancake compressor. Get something.